This is Srimaya of 9th standard and I am here to tell you about 8th class physics subject. Let us know more about the lesson sound. We hear consistently a lot of sounds in our surroundings like birds chirping, horns of vehicles like cars, bikes, lorries, etc. We are almost surrounded by the sound every time. It plays an important role in our daily life. And actually it helps us to easily communicate with each other every time. So to know more about the sound, let us do an activity how a vibrating body produces sound. To do this activity, take an iron scale, place this iron scale on the table like this. Put your hand on the edge of the scale or you can put on weight on it. Let the scale press down and let it live for a second and observe the vibration produced by the sound. With this activity, you might have noticed that this object is vibrating while it is producing the sound. We can feel the vibrations if we touch the object. But with this, we can conclude that a vibrating body produces sound. But certain instruments like flute, etc. doesn't vibrate but also produces sound. So guys, a question might have struck in your mind after this activity. Does sound have energy to make the objects vibrate? Yes, sound does have energy. Let us prove this with an activity. To do this activity, first take a bottle, cut it into half so that it looks like a glass. Now, place a mobile phone in it with a high volume that is playing songs. Now cover the glass with a balloon piece and tie it with a rubber band so that it acts like a diaphragm. Now place the sugar crystals on the top of the diaphragm and observe the movement of sugar crystals. So guys, you have observed that the particles are moving, vibrating and dancing. The sound produced from the mobile phone is responsible for these vibrations. Thus, we can conclude that a vibrating sound has energy to make the objects vibrate. Let us learn more about the structure of larynx or voice box. Larynx has two muscular ligaments called vocal cords that are stretched across the voice box. It leads to a narrow slit between them to allow the passage of air to produce the sounds. This is a vocal cord which is opened and this is a vocal cord which is closed. You know what? Vocal cords are open when we don't speak or talk to anybody else to allow the air into the lungs. But the vocal cords will be closed when we speak or talk to somebody else because the air from the lungs presses between them to cause a vibration of sound. Know more about the propagation of sound through solids, liquids and the gases. First, let us do an activity to prove the propagation of sound through solids. Ask your friend to lean on the bench with her ears touching to the walls of bench. And now strike the other end of the bench with a pen or a pencil. Ask your friend to listen to the sound produced by the pen. Can she hear the sound? Yes, she can hear the sound. Thus, we can conclude that the propagation of sound through solids is possible. Let us know more about liquids. To know more, let us do an activity with the stones. Take a bucket full of water and take two stones and strike it together by placing inside the water. Now listen to the sound produced by the stones. Can we hear the sound? Yes, we can hear the sound, but not clarity or clearly. But we are able to listen to the sound produced by the stones. Thus, we can conclude that the propagation of sound through liquids is possible. Now, let us go to the gases. It is a very easy activity. We can prove this with our daily activities. For example, if your teacher standing by the board and explaining the lesson, even a last bench student can hear the sound by teacher. Thus, we can conclude that the propagation of sound through all the states of matter is possible. With this activity, a question might have struck in your mind that does sound travel if there is no medium? To do this, let us do an activity. Start. To do this activity, first take a glass and place a mobile phone in it with high volume, that is playing songs. Now hear to the sound produced by the mobile phone. Can you hear the sound? Yes, we can hear the sound clarity and clearly. Now take the glass with your hand and place it close to your mouth and suck some of the air from it. Now try to hear the sound produced by the mobile phone. Can you hear the sound? Yes, we are able to hear only some of the sound, but not clarity or clearly. Now suck all the air from the air from the glass and try to listen to the sound produced by the mobile phone. Can you hear the sound? No, it is impossible to hear the sound because there is no medium in the glass. Thus, with this activity, we can conclude that if there is no medium, the sound cannot travel through it. So guys, let us learn more about the topic noise and the music. Music. It is very pleasant to hear and we love to hear the sound which is in a music concert. They are very pleasant to hear, but there are certain sounds which are very unpleasant to hear, like when the utensils like glass or a plate falls down from our hand. It's very irritating and we hate to hear those sounds. That is the noise. The music is very pleasant to hear. The sounds which are pleasant to hear is called music and the sounds which are unpleasant to hear is called noise. The noise is an irregular combination of sounds which are unpleasant to hear, and the music is a combination of sounds that are produced in an order and pleasant to hear. So guys, let us come to our last topic of the lesson, sound pollution. It is very harmful and it is a very serious problem like air and water pollution. The human beings get more effects due to this sound pollution. And in our surroundings, there are many sources of sound pollution like horns of vehicles in traffic, sounds from industries, construction sites and in the mines, etc. Not only in our surroundings, but there are some other causes of sounds in our homes like mixies, grinder and the motors. This leads a lot of effects in human beings like sleeplessness, hypertension, increase in blood pressure, etc. We have to prevent this sound pollution in our neighborhood and in our country by taking some of the preventive measures like this. Attaching the silencers to bikes and the other machines to reduce the sound. Manufacturing machines that work with less noise. During usage of TVs and the music players, tone down the volume low. Plant trees to reduce the sound pollution. Thanks one and all to giving such a wonderful opportunity. Thanks to one and all for listening patiently to my class. Stay home, stay safe.